What's up guys, Simon here. Today we're going to go ahead and discuss whether or not you should stop paying your rent or your mortgage to your lender. We will go over both the landlord side and the tenant side and see if it is a good idea to potentially not pay your mortgage or not pay your rent. So listen up and let's get into this. I get this question a lot from my friends or people that are in a tough situation, and they ask me, should I stop paying my mortgage? Should I stop paying rent? So I wanted to make a video that kind of clarifies what I think you should do given your situation. Before we jump into this video, please go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. For those that have followed my other videos, I discussed the CARES Act and potentially the upcoming HEROES Act. In those two stimulus packages, there is a mortgage foreclosure freeze or a moratorium, as well as a rental eviction freeze. With both freezes, you will not be dinged for late payments or no payment. They will not allow a mortgage company, for example, to put a late payment on your credit history, and your landlord not only cannot evict you, but they cannot ruin your credit if you are paying late or not paying at all. First, I want to discuss the landlord side, and then we will discuss the tenant side. With the CARES Act, landlords cannot evict tenants during the pandemic time through 2020. Landlords also do not have to pay their mortgage and can request an extension for up to 1 year to not pay their mortgage. This is with the CARES Act. The landlord has to say they have experienced a hardship, so you need to contact your servicing bank. Hopefully it is federally backed, and you just have to tell them you've experienced a hardship and you cannot pay your mortgage. Then you could also request extensions as well on that hardship or that mortgage forbearance. What is a forbearance? A forbearance is basically when your mortgage lender puts a freeze or a hold on your payments and your payment history, allowing you to catch up with your payments so that once you are back on your feet, you're able to start paying your mortgage again. Forbearance doesn't mean that you don't owe that money. It simply means that you don't have to pay for the forbearance period, which could be months or it could be up to a year. So you still have to owe that money. You're not getting, away with that sum that you owed the bank. Make sure you understand your bank's forbearance program. With federally backed loan, there is a federal guideline for forbearance. With non-federal backed loans, which you should figure out which yours is, there will be different guidelines. Once you regain your stability as a landlord, you will then be responsible to start making payments again. In fact, not only will you be responsible to start making payments, you will actually have to pay back what you did not pay. There are several options that you could pay the bank back with. For example, if your loan is with Freddie Mac or Fannie Mae, FHA or a VA or a USDA loan, you are federally backed by specific guidelines and you have several options for paying back the late payments, which is excellent. At the end of the forbearance period, you will be able to spread those payments that you've missed over several months as a sum in addition to your mortgage payment, or you will be able to add the payment as a lump sum to the end of your contract term or the end of your loan term. So if you have $300,000 loan and you missed $50,000 in payment, you would owe $350,000 at the end of that loan. This is my favorite option. As a landlord with the CARES Act, which is approved, you will not have any late payment, you will not have any late fees, and you will not be dinged for your credit or on your credit for not making payments on time during the forbearance period. If you do not have a federally backed loan, then you fall on a different guideline and you will need to contact your loan servicer to see what your options actually are. I have also enclosed a link below where you can see some of your options through the government website and read about what you are capable of doing during the pandemic or forbearance period. As always, my advice with mortgage is get federally backed loans. I like to get loans from the bigger banks that are more reputable, backed by the government during recessions or depressions or these type of times. So a lot of my loans are through JP Morgan Chase, as I am a private client with that bank and they are federally backed. So I have these options for forbearance. If you have a federally backed loan, my favorite option is to add the payments at the end of the term of my loan. This gives me an opportunity to hold more cash to invest during potentially this economic time. It gives me a cushion or buffer. Also, it gives you a chance to later sell your house and that loan will be covered anyway with the money that you make on the sale of the house. The option allows for more breathing room during the pandemic times. You could be in a position where you own one house or you don't have many streams of income, and holding on to that $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 a month could mean a lot to you and your family. So I definitely recommend you choose the lump sum payment if you can. You should absolutely take advantage of the forbearance period. There is no reason to not do so. In fact, you can also defer payments on your automobile, which you should be doing as well during this time. As I mentioned, I am a Chase Private Client member with several mortgages in the millions. So I applied for forbearance on every single one of those mortgages, and I'm going to add those to the lump sum of my payment later. I am not spending that money to blow on luxury goods or anything like that. I may even pay the lump sum back, but this gives me an opportunity to decide what I want to do with all that money I'm saving. It is basically cashing out, or a refinance cash out, without having to do any paperwork. I get to keep that money that I'm supposed to give to the bank, and I get to decide what I want to do with it. This is an excellent way to get extra liquid cash flow. So take advantage of the opportunity and call your loan servicer today. Tenants, let's discuss what you should do, and landlords, pay attention because this could affect you and your passive income stream.
I knew exactly what to do, but in a much more real sense, I had no idea what to do.
As a landlord with several tenants generating thousands in passive income monthly, I do not recommend as a tenant you stop paying rent. Not because I'm a greedy bastard and I want my money, but because tenant laws are a little bit different than landlord laws. You're not federally backed by any repayment program or any loan program or anything of that matter. The CARES Act covered tenants to basically have eviction-free worry. So if you're not paying your rent or you're paying your rent partially, you cannot be evicted. That does not mean that you are able to live for free. That's not the case. You still have to owe the contractual money at the end of your contract period.
Damn it! Come on!
Damn it!
Damn it! Damn it!
Damn it!
For example, if you're paying $2,000 a month in your rent and you have a year left on your contract, that's $24,000 you will owe your landlord at the end of that rental agreement. So that means no matter what, within that year, you need to pay your landlord $24,000. If you did not pay him for, say, several months, you either have to prorate those payments into the next month, or you need to give him a lump sum to catch up. If you have excellent credit, you will not only have to pay the landlord the amount, but you will also have a negative credit score if the landlord wants to collect on you, which they will.
Damn it.
The rental freeze is meant to help tenants get back on their feet as well and not worry about getting evicted or losing their place to live while they look for another job or while their job resumes. So tenants, if you could continue paying rent, do so as much as you can. The reason is you're limited to that contractual period to pay back what you owe. And by not doing so, you are ballooning your total payment that you owe during your rental period. That could be a major problem for you during the last few months of your rent period and for the rest of your life if you're getting a legal collection on you. For landlords and tenants, here is a tip if you're both struggling with payments. Landlords and tenants, here's a tip. As a landlord, if you're contacted by a tenant who cannot make a payment because they recently lost their job, work with the tenant, but make sure you guys have an addendum agreement or a forbearance agreement that shows the new amounts that you owe for rent and a plan for catching payments back up so that you are legally both covered and you both understand what those payments will be, how long it will take for you to catch up with payments, and where you stand within the end of your contract. With the new HEROES Act potentially coming, check out one of my other videos on my channel, which I recently did. This would potentially extend your payment periods and eviction periods to a longer term. So check out that video. If approved, it will help both landlords and tenants that are struggling. Also, check out my CARES Act video of what you should do with your stimulus money and some of the rights that you have as well. As always, I appreciate you guys watching my videos. Please comment or ask questions below. I appreciate the love you guys show, and I'll see you guys here in the next video. Thank you.